iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here, race fans, to another Monday night edition of the Red Light Racing Series. Tonight, it's the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series here for Red Light Racing on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, we are here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, and this one is about to be crazy because let me tell you, race fans, these cars that they're driving here tonight, it's nobody's favorite car. These drivers will, though, attempt to battle this track. It's the 1987 Cup cars here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway in the 1987 configuration. No lights around the speedway, just the sun beating down on this pavement here in North Carolina. To bring you all the racing action, my name is Roger Muth here tonight to bring you all this high horsepower racing action here for Red Light Racing. And this race tonight, it's round number 3. We already told you it's at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, 125 laps of short track racing action. It's just a half-mile speedway. We've been, well, to the just under a mile Iowa Speedway last week, where Max Tarrant was able to pick up the big win in the Gen 4 Cup car. And the week before that, Tony Strano at the high banks of the Daytona International Speedway, he was able to pick up the win there for his first career win. So round number 3 throws a whole new challenge at these drivers, and it is now time, already just like that, to get our starting lineup brought to us by our friends at Celeratus Legal. Make sure to contact them if you have legal problems or you need to get a settlement. They have your back. They can get you covered. Here's your starting lineup. Starting on the pole here tonight, he drives car number 8. That'll be Zach Mitchell. To his outside, it'll be car number 6, Chris Hammond. Back into the second row, third starting spot here tonight, the number 88 of Sean Butler. James Skelton will start the 86 in 4th. Well, how about Max Turner? Last week's winner will start 5th. 6th will go to the alien of Jason Wells here tonight, and the 7th starting spot, car number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. Starting in the 8th spot, he's back here, the short track ace, the number 61 of Dalton Williamson. Back into the 9th spot then, here's Ethan Troutman. He's back in action in the number 62. He'll start 9th starting spot here tonight. The Granny Hips Walkers and Canes, 13MA Joshua Buckley will start into the 10th starting spot. Well, how about Ryan O'Donoghue, the number 98 out of Canton, Michigan? He'll start 11th. 12th will be the number 99 of Cole Day. 13th on the call here tonight will be Peyton Johnson, car number 15. Tony Strano, Week 1's winner, will start back into the 14th starting spot. Well, Richard Murdoch, Old Dick Doc, and car number 01 will start 15th. 16th to Tim Combs, 17th to Trent Potter, great qualifying effort for Trent. And Ben Klutz in car number 45 will start there in 18th. 19th will go to Joe Strano. 20th to Brandon Feeney. 21st, William Ridgway will start car number 39 back in the 21st spot. Thomas Ridgway right alongside in the 22nd starting spot here tonight. Bruce Potter will start back in 23rd. 24th will go to Donald Bennett here tonight. Josiah Millen, 25th. Rob Higgins, 26th. And Bob Higgins will round out our starting lineup here tonight. That's your starting lineup. 125 laps the distance here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We're ready to go racing. Next time by, we will drop the hammer on these machines. The 1987 Winston Cup machines ready to go racing here tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series presented by Red Light Racing. Next time by, we turn them loose. Well, this time by, actually, I should say, because the lights are out on the pace car. We're getting ready this time down that straightaway. They're going to fire them off. Barney has the green flag. He's waving, and we're green here tonight. Good start, everybody just minding their P's and Q's here. Lap 1, turn number 1 and 2 look absolutely beautiful here as they race down the back straightaway. Battle no longer for the race lead as Zach Mitchell has it as he will try to run away and hide. Lap 1 will go to Zach Mitchell. Trouble spots here tonight. We're going to watch them off turn number 2 and 4. And even getting into the corner. Look at this mess back here. Everybody battling everybody, scrumming it out back here. Max Terry will go to the inside of Jason Wells. He'll make the pass work for that spot. Wells to the outside. He'll fight his way to the bottom side of the speedway. But there is the number 99, a Cold Day. He's to the outside, driving the Budweiser King of Beers number 8 machine here tonight. Down to the inside, the Emco. Number 62, that is Troutman. But Cold Day was looking like the outside lane may be working for that number 8 machine here tonight. Ryan O'Donnell back there also. The Turbo Dork Radical Paints number 98. Now, he told me he had a special paint job here tonight that Ryan O'Donnell, as you see a little bit of a slide there by the number 62 of Troutman. But Ryan O'Donnell told me that he had a paint scheme that was meant for his good buddy Sean Single, who is not able to make it here tonight to the racetrack. Grandpappy Sean's genuine medicated back blum. I'm just saying, race fans, something up with Sean Single and his back. It's just wax. I mean, it's just wax. That's all they're putting on him. Right now, Zach Mitchell is waxing this field here 5 laps in. He's led all 5 laps. So there you see the driver of car number 8. We talk about these machines here. See if we can get a zoom in or zoom it out. That's fine. That's the Pontiac here for 1987. And there's only 2 of them in the field here tonight. iRacing has brought us, they brought us a junkyard on the front straightaway. Ryan O'Donnell has turned it around. Little damage to the left side of that Thunderbird. Driver out of Canton, Michigan. Brings out the first caution flag of the evening. We're going to have to take a look back here in just a moment. See what happened to Ryan O'Donnell. Let's take that look. Follow that Turbo Dork entry. Off of turn 4 and self-yeet. Oh, locked it up. Nowhere for Peyton Johnson to go. 17 of Combs also involved. So Ryan got it sideways. He got it slammed onto the brakes. Right on board here. Peyton Johnson. Peyton maybe about a quarter throttle there. Wasn't quite sure which direction he wanted to go. Then Ryan O'Donnell just crossed paths. Yeah, you just heard it. Ryan O'Donnell just stepped on the gas and that rear end going to light the tires and slide her around. So that's what's going to bring out the first caution flag of the evening here. And while the first caution flag flies, a couple drivers did take their time to come to pit road. Tony Shrano, Brandon Feeney, Josiah Millen, Donald Bennett, Trent Potter, Tim Combs, Peyton Johnson have all decided to go to pit road here under the first caution flag of the evening. pack these things full of fuel here tonight, see if we can make it the full distance. I believe we're going to need at least one pit stop here tonight for these drivers. 125 laps with these fire-breathing dragons here tonight is a lot of laps to turn. We talked about these cars. It's the 1987 cars as we get the 1 lap to go. They got the Pontiac, the Chevy, the Ford, the Oldsmobile. They're all here in the iRacing Sim. Tonight, though, just 2 Pontiacs and 1 Buick. The lone Buick is Rob Higgins, buried back into the 18th spot. We'll see if the old Buick can make its way towards the front, because it sure don't look like a Buick. No, it's definitely a Buick. Pace car in, coming back into the restart zone here. We're going with 11 laps in the books tonight. Green flag back up is, a big stack up on the outside. Big stack up, 1 car going around the 45. Uh-oh, everybody on the hooks. Everybody trying to get loaded up, and these cars do not stop on a dime like the next generation Cup cars, that is for sure. I believe the 03 and Brandon Feeney still locked together down there on the infield grass. They get it pointed back into the right direction, but boy, talk about right off the jump on that restart. It started on the front row. Watch this outside lane. It just does not go. Looks like Sean Butler missed a shift, and from there it was on. See everybody getting piled into here. Ryan O'Donnell involved, Richard Murdoch. Brandon Feeney goosed it up just a little bit, and the car went around. Watch the 45. Oh, he gets eaten by the 01 of Murdoch. One driver up onto his lid there. I believe that was the 28 of Trent Potter in the Haviline Ford, and that's exactly who it was. This is off the Checkered Flag Auto Supply nose camera here with Bob Higgins. He got tagged from behind, too. See everybody just coming to a stop. So caution lights are back on the speedway once again, and the running order is quite jumbled up. Some drivers coming to pit road here. Some drivers being trapped behind the pace car, so they can't come to pit road. We'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. I can tell you Zach Mitchell's still the race leader with Chris Hammett, Sean Butler, James Skelton, Max Terrill. That is the top 5. Drivers that were involved, Trent Potter, Bruce Potter, Thomas Ridgway, Brandon Feeney, Bob Higgins, Tony Strano, Ryan O'Donnell, Richard Murdoch, Ben Klutz, Josiah Millen, Rob Higgins. All drivers involved, and you can count the 64 of Wells involved, the 86 of Skelton, 88 of Butler, all getting also involved in one way or another there. 1 to go here until we go back racing. Some drivers getting their laps back there as they were in front of the race leader, but behind the iRacing.com pace car. So they will get waved around and back onto the lead lap they go. So it'll be 17 laps after the second caution flag here of the evening is cleaned up, and we're ready to go racing. See if we got a better start this time, and a quick jump there for Zach Mitchell. Not sure if Chris Hammett was sleeping on that one. 3 wide racing a little bit deeper into the field. That is Ethan Troutman. Josiah Millen down to the bottom. And then it was Wells. They figured it out, though, real quick. They didn't stay side by side or 3 wide for very long. As one driver slipping up off the bottom side there. That's the number 13 of Joshua Buckley. Almost 3 wide there. Jason Wells almost into the back of the Let Freedom Ring. Pabst Blue Ribbon, number 55 of Josiah Millen. He backed out of it, and they will both live to turn another lap. Mitchell's the race leader still here with 20 laps just about to go in the books. Brandon Feeney having some problems off turn number 4. He'll back out of the gas and regain control of the car. There's Rob Higgins in the number 40 entry. Down on the bottom, that yellow and white machine. The Higgins Hill Farms Buick. Down to the inside, we told you it's the lone Buick here tonight. So as he is the lone Buick, he's inside the top 15. Beating at least one of those Pontiacs, as the other Pontiac has so much excitement, it is leading tonight's race. Everybody inside the top 10 has single-filed themselves out. You got to go back there to that Rob Higgins and Joe Strano entry. There's the number 23 of Strano to the outside. Just ahead of them, Josiah Millen is also battling to try and stay inside the top 10. It's not going to work, though, as there goes the alien, where number 64 of Jason Wells. He's down to the bottom side. Then there's Ethan Troutman. So the Jason Wells entry on the bottom side is making it work. Early on, we saw the outside lane prevail for a lot of these drivers. Cole Day went to the outside. He made a couple passes up there. Millen now trying to do it, and he's not quite able to. He's going to lose that spot to Wells. Now here comes Troutman. Troutman in the Amco entry down to the bottom side, and he actually will slip. Millen going to have the opportunity to go back down to the bottom side with his Ford. He will do that. He will pop the top on another one of those PBRs, and he'll roll the bottom side of the speedway now. Talked about Cole Day, and there he is, that Budweiser number 8 entry. He's right now to the outside. An outside lane worked early with fresh tires. How about William Ridgway, though? He's started well deep into the field. There's that number 39. The GM Duncan entry. That driver set quick time in our hot lap session early on, and then tonight qualified well outside the top 15. He's picked up 13 spots here in the early going. Sideways for Joshua Buckley. Buckley just lost the tennis balls off the walker. Somebody kicked him out from underneath, the Massachusetts driver, but somehow he hung on to that Chevy Lumina. Didn't want to crinkle her up like a beer can here tonight. Probably got a couple of those steel reserves sitting next to him. Talk about beer cans to another beer can. There's the number 31, the Busch entry. That's Donald Bennett battling with the number 3 of Tony Strano. They're side by side, battling back here for the 20th spot. Bennett gonna really sail her off onto the top side. I don't know if he thinks he's Jade Avedizian or what, because holy shamoles, did he go way high, wide. And Donald, that's like 10 times the size of a midget. The drivers starting to spread themselves out here. The only side-by-side battle was the Donald Bennett and Tony Strano entry. One driver down on pit road, everybody else out here onto the raceway. As you see Sean Butler trying to figure out a way around the number 8 of Zach Mitchell. Trent Potter is the car that is down on pit road currently. Car number 28 was involved in the big pile-up down here into turn number 1. Couple drivers getting together. Ryan O'Donoghue is down here on the inside. This has not been Ryan O'Donoghue's night. There's Tim Combs also. Ryan O'Donoghue and Tim Combs will both look to stay on the lead lap here. They just got their cars pointed back into the right direction before the iRacing.com, or before the race leaders got to them. The pace car did get around them, but they were, well... Let's take a look. Here it is. This is what happened. Oh, just two drivers coming to each other, coming together. They were just fighting for the same position. Right about here. Yep, there they go. They barely touch and both go to the inside wall. Race leaders are on pit road, though. Zach Mitchell will drop the jack and get out first. A couple drivers staying out here. I think they just got trapped that they didn't get to pit road the first time around. They probably come this time. It does look like they will. So Zach Mitchell, Chris Hammett, Sean Butler is how they all will line up there, the first couple. Couple drivers coming to pit road. They're going to lose some track position. Cole Day, Tony Strano, and Tim Combs all coming to pit road late. Looks like Donald Bennett along with Ryan Donnie and Brandon Feeney. Some of them guys going to try and get their laps back here as they're ahead of the race leader. We'll see if that all works out for them. Another driver that's back out onto the raceway, a lap or two down. Looks like 2 laps down currently. There's the number 15 of Peyton Johnson. John's going to look to get at least one of those back here. It's never too early. We've seen crazy things here when we come to the North Wilkesboro Speedway. The last time we came to the North Wilkesboro Speedway, 125 laps of green flag racing, along with green flag pit stops. How many times do you come to one of the oldest scanned tracks on iRacing? That's right. There's no other track surface that is as old as the North Wilkesboro Speedway when it was scanned. And let me tell you, it is not an easy track at all. You see the cars doubling up. That means we're going next time by. We will have 35 laps completed. Everybody's now got a new set of Goodyear Racing tires. The Bias Ply tires is what they used back in 1987. That's what's scanned onto these cars here tonight. Still only have Trent Potter off the racetrack right now. Pace car off the racing surface. Green flag back up into the air, and they come back up. Whoa, Max Terrialt spun the tires. Max spun the tires, and I believe that is Dalton Williamson. That's to the outside of him now. Getting to the back end of him. There's Ridgway up top also. Ridgway will find his way to the bottom. It'll be Zach Mitchell once again leading that lap. Sean Butler under attack by the number 6. Dalton Williamson not able to get down to the bottom. Ridgway will get there and fill that hole. Now Williamson, oh, got to bounce it off the wall. Ridgway up and over into 3. Big problems down here in the corner. Dalton Williamson going around as he got into the outside wall. So Williamson got up into the wall. He'll do a little bit of a loop into pit road. Let's watch. Williamson got to get up into the wall right here. He's going to bounce off the wall, get into the 39. Ridgway with one of the fastest cars here tonight will be out of this event, I think. Williamson also looks like his night will be over. Right on board. This was Wells right behind him. He thought he was going to get through there. That could have been bigger than it really was. You see the contact again to the wall, and Ridgway gets turned into it. Look at everybody else. Avoid Millen, just avoids that flipping number 39. So really caught 3 cars, maybe 4 cars if you want to be generous, involved in this one. Everybody else locking them up, getting through. Wells came to pit road, and it looks like he has called it a night here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Some crazy racing going on out there. We told you this was going to be one of the tough ones here tonight. These cars, nobody really likes driving them. They're a handful. And put it on, I told you, one of the oldest surface tracks, when they scanned it, they had to cut brush out of the racetrack before they scanned this track, and now it is getting repaved. So I wonder if iRacing is actually going to do a rescan after they repave. You see all the grass down to the infield here at North Wilkesboro? That's no longer there. It's not there. It's all blacktops. So things are definitely different at the North Wilkesboro Speedway from 1987 till, well, 2023. Drivers are getting lined up. I think we might get the one to go sign this time. Zach Mitchell is still the race leader. See drivers trying to scoot off pit road. Richard Murdoch was down there onto pit road. Tim Combs is coming back off of pit road. Looks like Trent Potter has got his car number 28 back out onto the racetrack also. 25 laps down, it looks like, for Trent Potter right now. As we do get that one to go, we double them back up and we'll go back ready to race this time by. Zach Mitchell will lead us to the green flag once again with Sean Butler, Chris Hammett, and James Skelton. Ready to go. iRacing.com safety car has its lights off. It will duck to the safety of pit row. That's where it is safest. As Zach Mitchell, oh, somebody stacked them up. One going around, two going around, three going around. Front straightaway caution. Ryan O'Donnell involved in another one, unfortunately, here. I'm sure this is going to be one of those nights he's going to want to forget. Richard Murdoch also involved again. So the fifth caution flag here tonight. Two of these caution flags here have come straight off of a green flag start, off a restart. Take a look. What happens to Ryan O'Donnell? Does he get some help? We know the 62 has problems. Right there, stacks up the whole bottom lane, and Bennett into the back of the 98, and then someone was into the back of the number 3 of Strano there. Oh, that was Richard Murdoch is here. Is this the on board with Tony Strano? So Bruce Potter, Richard Murdoch, all involved along with Ryan O'Donnell. All on board with Ryan O'Donnell here. Let's listen to it. Well, you saw it. It's a crazy one. It's a hard one out there for these drivers. Ryan O'Donnell, you see back out onto the racetrack. A couple drivers have called it a night. William Ridgway, Dalton Williamson have called it an evening here. Fifth caution flag of the evening, working lap number 46. We'll put it in the books. We got to thank everybody that's tuning in here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network, watching us live over on the YouTube side of things. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the bell, make sure you get the notifications anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's, well, Dave in the Cave, Brett the Jet, the Outlaw of KR. Maybe I heard Upstate Al's coming back to the live streams here, so can't wait to see all of them back out here onto the microphones behind the scenes. You don't get to see all of them. Usually we put them to work doing something here. Put them to work just like Barney the Flagman. He's getting his workout in here tonight. This will be the fifth caution flag wrapping up, as he did get them the single to double up as we get ready to go back racing this time by. It'll be 48 laps out of the 125 scheduled here tonight at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Mitchell and Butler will do the jig on the front row. Pace cars off this time, looking like a much better restart through the field. Everybody will pass the start-finish line this time. Mitchell trying to run away and hide with his Pontiac right on board here. You see, that's the number 6 of Chris Hammett down to the inside. He looks to try and clear the number 88 of Sean Butler this time, and he will that time at the start-finish line. It'll be Mitchell, Hammett, Butler, Skelton is how they are all across the line. Sean Butler will find a way to the bottom side of the speedway. Look at Max Terriot into the back of James Skelton. Skelton going to lock it up. He'll smash the outside wall. Skelton smashes the outside wall. There's the Flourtown Animal Hospital, number 86 of James Skelton. He was running up inside the top 5. Max Terriot got into the back of him, and Skelton locked him up and pushed that car straight up into the wall like a dump truck. The 6th caution flag of the evening is out and on the racetrack. Skelton lifts going into the corner, and Max looks like he just got back to the throttle just a little bit sooner. Skelton, there is a little bit of a crash strip, a little bit of a berm down to the inside. It looks like he may have hit that before it went darting to the right-hand side up into the outside retaining wall. Yeah, right there, and he bounces off the curb and hard into the wall for the Flourtown Animal Hospital 86 of Skelton. Skelton really loves these short tracks, and a couple of years ago, we went to IRP. And James Skelton had a really fast car that night. He ended up spinning from the lead, going all the way to the back in a 150-lap race. It was early that he spun. He ended up coming back to win that race, so it's not unheard of for James Skelton to get involved in a wreck and come all the way back through the field. He's going to have to start deep. Looks probably to be around the 20th position when we do go back racing. Are you in the Northeastville, race fans? Right around, let's say, the Massachusetts area? Well, there's only one place where you need to go, and that's the Checkered Flag Auto Supply located in Ayer, Massachusetts. They have all the auto parts that you need. Not only do you get auto parts at the store, it's a family-owned and operated business up there in Ayer, Massachusetts. The Higgins celebrating their 20th year in operation up there in the Ayer, Massachusetts area. Make sure to stop by, get your auto parts from the family-owned and operated auto parts store, but also meet some of the racers that you see out here on the racetrack on Thursdays and right here on Mondays at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. The lights will go out once again, so that means everybody has had the opportunity to come to pit road under the 6th caution flag of the evening, and we're now ready to go back green flag racing. It is still Zach Mitchell, Chris Hammett, Sean Butler. Hammett and Butler swap that position back and forth every restart. Joe Strano, those picked up 15 spots. There's Jeffrey Souza. There's Millen also now in the mix. Pace car was out and away. The green flag is up, and here we go. Lap number 56, working. See everybody battling down into turns 3 and 4. They will exit 3 and 4. Mitchell will lead the first lap back to green flag racing again. That battle goes for second. Sean Butler going to slide off the bottom side of the speedway. He got into the number 6 there. Chris Hammett just a little bit. Look at Jeffrey Souza just very quietly driving the Souza Media Stand Analyzer number 4 up there into the 3rd spot. Millen's going to go 3 wide as Max Terriot tries to shoot the gap. Cole Day to the outside. Day's going to leave the outside open, but I was trying to see. Oh, Millen's going to slide the tires into 3. He'll slide the tires. They were 3 wide racing. They made it work. That was a wily veteran move there by Max Terriot. He just elected to back out of that. Wait till the next corner. Millen made the mistake, and he drove right on through. Just behind them, that is the Looking at it, the 62. And that is the 45. That's the other Pontiac out there tonight. So both Pontiacs inside the top 10. That Buick knocking on the back door of the top 10, though. And how about Peyton Johnson involved in a wreck early, went a lap down. He's back to running now into the 12th spot. A little scrape on the wall there for Ben. Rob to the outside. Peyton Johnson down to the bottom side. Looks like Rob Higgins, the brakes on that Buick, the big old boat, look like they are glowing hot. And is that Rhino Don? That is Rhino Donnie working the outside of the speedway. Maybe after being involved in 3 or 4 wrecks, Rhino Donnie's car is coming around. There's definitely no nose on that car, so it gotta be getting a lot of airflow to it. Nothing's changed out front, race fans. You're watching the best battles on the racetrack. Zach Mitchell still leads Sean Butler. And then it's Jeffrey Souza. Down to the inside of the City Chevrolet. That's the old Granny Hips, Walkers, and Canes driver. Sideways there for the number 40 of Higgins. Everybody got stacked up there for just a moment. There's your race leader. There's the distance. First to second, second to third. Chris Hammond all over Jeffrey Souza. That stand analyzer entry may have just got a little piece of the outside wall that time. Bruce Potter coming to pit road in the number 59, Ford Quality Care. He's sitting in 23rd right now. An unscheduled stop here for Bruce Potter. Troutman looking to pick up a spot here from Millen. Millen's night here tonight started outside the top 20. Not a good starting spot for him. He worked himself inside the top 5 momentarily, and now, unfortunately, starting to fall back. Looking at it, he pitted back on lap number 31, put 4 tires on that number 55, and then said, let freedom ring. America dropped the jack, and they're back out there. So still inside the top 10. Big Ben right behind him. James Skelton, one driver up around the outside. He'll put it into the outside fence by himself. 360, and, well, Donald Bennett going to bring out the caution flag all by him lonesome. That's called a self-yeet on the outside. So the 7th caution flag here on lap number 68 comes out for the solo spin of Bennett. Bennett was battling for the, looks like the 18th spot at the time. He just drove it in, got up into the loose stuff, and said, hey, watch this. Watch Bennett's hands here. You can't turn it that much right, otherwise it's gonna go right. Drivers down on pit road. They all came out of pit road. Looks like Sean Butler with a really fast pit stop. A 21-second stop for Sean Butler will get him the race lead, it looks like. A little bit of a slow stop there for Zach Mitchell, which will drop him from first to second. First time we've seen the lead change here tonight, and it's under the caution flag. While we're under the caution flag here, we'll take a quick step away here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We'll be back with more racing action after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage.
You didn't want to watch that commercial, did you, race fans? Me neither. Green flag's back up. One driver having a big moment down there. It looks like that's the 86 of James Skelton. He pulled it right down to the bottom side of the speedway, out of everybody's way, and we stay racing. Heads up move there by the 86 of Skelton, but it is Sean Butler trying to lead his first laps of green flag. And he will. So the Butler will lead his first. Oh, sideways for the 0-1 of Murdoch. Murdoch was all sorts of out of shape in the 0-1. That adventure in pixels was certainly taking a pixel down to the inside. Everybody up front here playing nice here tonight. Max Terrell has started to rebound. He's back into the 5th spot after getting together with the Wells entry. Still inside the top 10 for Millen and Ben here. Ben Colt still side by side as Millen a little sideways that time, getting on the brakes. Look at Rob Higgins. That Buick is still out here tonight and still trying to get himself into the top 10. But how about Ryan O'Donnell? It's, the little engine that could, the never give up attitude there for Ryan O'Donnell. O'Donnell's been a lap down. He's been beaten and banged around here. Yeah, that Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry is still going, and it's trying to get back into the top 10. I mean, it's got no nose piece on it. It's, I think, the only straight fender quarter panel, maybe the roof on that Turbo Dork entry. And trust me, there's plenty of time for Ryan O'Donnell. He is, getting close that time down into 1 and 2. Almost exchanging cell phone numbers out there for the 40 of Higgins and the number 98 of O'Donnell. Murdoch trying the outside there on the number 13 of Joshua Buckley. Not going to have anything happening there. He'll have to tuck back behind the number 13 of Buckley. That's the best battle out there onto the racetrack, I'm telling you, race fans, right here. And it always seems to involve that Buick. I don't know if it's because it's the only Buick on the racetrack that they got to try to put on the show, or what. It just looks like a boat. I've noticed watching these cars go around the raceway here that the Ford Thunderbird and the Pontiacs have a little bit of a different back glass compared to the Buick and the Chevrolet. Buick and the Chevrolet looking rather similar. And then those Fords and the Pontiac have that little bit of a bubble glass on the back end of their cars. They seem a little bit more narrower also. The Pontiac definitely has a different nose, as you see. Josh Buckley almost into the back of Ryan O'Donnell. O'Donnell slipped that time going into 3, and that will allow Rob Higgins to take full command of that position. But O'Donnell says, you know what, I'm going to go right back to the outside, see if I can get this Thunderbird back up this full song and dance. Now here comes the Adventure in Pixel 01 once again for Murdoch. This is all happening right behind the 55 of Millen, who's running into the 9th position. So this is from 9th all the way back to call about the 15th position right now as Murdoch will go around. Buckley into the back. I know Peyton Johnson got to come in sliding sideways. I don't know if he got any help in that number 15 entry or not. But Buckley definitely into the back of the 0-1 of Murdoch. The 8th caution flag flying here tonight on the 84th lap of the evening. Buckley gave Murdoch a little shot into the right rear going in the corner. And gave him another shot in the middle of the corner. That's what turned him around. Right on board with Murdoch. You don't see Buckley. You don't see Buckley. There he is. And then Peyton Johnson sliding in, just stopping short from hitting the number 13 of Joshua Buckley. Right on board with Buckley. A little tap. And yeet. So there's the running order on the left-hand side. A couple drivers out of this. Tony Strano, William Ridgway, Dalton Williamson are out of tonight's race. Looks like Bruce Potter's been down on pit road again. Multiple trips for the number 59 of Potter. Looks like the single family tuning in here tonight. Sean back home with his parents, trying to rehab. He just sent me a picture. He said, don't mind the socks. I'd show you, race fans, but he says don't mind the socks, so I'm not going to show his socks out there. Right now, though, he's tuning in. He's hanging out, pulling for his teammates out there. Chris Hammond, Zach Mitchell right now. And maybe if Ryan O'Donnell can get back up through. Where is Ryan O'Donnell right now? He's sitting back into the, it looks like, there it is, the 12th position currently here for the driver out of Michigan. I don't even know what to call that car right now for Ryan O'Donnell. It is the most tore-up 1987 car I have seen that is still out there ticking along. Lap 89 will go in the books when we come back racing here. Sean Butler will be the race leader. He will have control of this restart with Chris Hammond to the outside. So you got a Chevrolet, a Ford, and a Pontiac right now leading the way. That's how they are. The Buick is back in 11th with Rob Higgins. Green flag up. And a great start there by the 88 of Butler. A little teammate help there. Chris Hammond will be able to get down to the bottom side of the speedway. Souza gets stuck to the outside. So does the number 99 there of Cole Day. So everybody fighting for that bottom. We've seen passes, though, made on the outside. And Souza says, you know what? I'll stay up here. I'll see if I can make a pass or two while we're at it. Stand analyzer machine trying to work on that 8 car of Zach Mitchell, but it looks like he'll lose ground down in 1 and maybe a little kiss to the outside wall on the exit of turn number 2 that time. So it's just not going to quite pay off there for Jeffrey Souza as he'll lose some positions on that restart. That Ford machine has just been very quiet. We've seldomly talked about him here tonight. Talked about him momentarily a little while ago as now he'll find his way in front of Cole Day. But the old X-side looking paint scheme there, the Souza media entry, just been very quiet. That's what Souza always does. He will kill you with silence, that is for sure. One way or another, he always finds his way towards the front of the field. Look at everybody going single file up here towards the front. You got to go all the way back here. That is the 03 of Thomas Ridgway in the Pennzoil entry. Getting passed by the 28. That is Trent Potter. Potter is not on the lead lap. He is 25 laps down. Ridgway is sitting there into the 13th position. The next challenging car for him will be the Pepsi Challenger number 17 of Tim Combs, the golfer out of Ohio. Couple drivers back here trying to still continue to work their way back through the field. There's Murdoch. He's been involved in a couple of wrecks here tonight. James Skelton, he's been involved in a couple. And Jason Wells also back here. He's been spun around and, well, has not been able to rebound here tonight. He's running 18th, one spot ahead of Joshua Buckley. Buckley is the last car on the lead lap. So a lot of good cars here trapped deep into the field with 30 laps to go. One high and wide. That'll be Mr. Bob Higgins. Higgins now falling back to the last car on the lead lap. Wells trying to get underneath Ridgway in the 0-3. Ridgway is one of those rookies this season here with the series. You see Ridgway has been involved. He was involved in that big wreck down in turn number 1. Him and Brandon Feeney got collected together and couldn't get off each other. A lot of different lines that time being used down there in turns number 3 and 4. So as they all look to single file it out, there's all your race leaders. They're come by this time. They will put lap number 98 officially in the books. Sean Butler, Chris Hammett, Zach Mitchell, and Max Terriel are the top 4 drivers that have broken away a little bit. Then you got to go back. There's Jeffrey Souza. He's fallen back into the clutches for Cole Day. How about Joe Strano? Just a very quiet night. Also, there's drivers here tonight that are having some of the best races they've had so far this season, and they're just doing it quietly. There is not a single scratch on that number 23 there for Joe Strano. Millen's still back here, and look who's broke inside the top 10. The Buick. The Buick for Rob Higgins is now running 9th. But for how long? Because here comes Ethan Troutman. Troutman peeking his nose of that Ford Thunderbird down to the inside. Trouble. Trouble down here in turns number 1 and 2. James Skelton has gone around. Ryan O'Donnell also down there in the grass, and I believe Tim Combs, yep, the Pepsi Challenger entry, rolling away down there. What happened, Ryan O'Donnell? Oh, Tim Combs got in too deep into the corner. And then a whole bunch of bumper cars back here. Look at Ryan's hands. He knows he's just along for the ride. Talk about a man that takes his paint seriously. Even the gloves, the helmet, the driver's suit all match the car. Wonder who's buying dinner between Murdoch and Skelton tonight after that. So things a little jumbled here because this race is going to be under 20 laps to go. Some drivers electing to not come to pit road, and that's the new race leader. Max Terriel will now take over the race lead as he does not come to pit road here. So he'll be the race leader, and it will be under 20 to go. As he looks like he says that's probably not going to work out in my favor. But that's going to be a lot of track position there for Max Terriel that he's going to have to give up because I'm showing 17, 18 cars on the lead lap. That'll put him about running in the 18th spot when he comes back out of pit road. So that then will turn it over to Chris Hammett. Hammett with a 2-tire stop. A lot of drivers here. 2-tire stop. So Chris Hammett goes on 2 tires. Souza goes on 2 tires. Wells for 2 tires. Then it's Sean Butler on 4. Zach Mitchell on 4. And Ryan O'Donnell has put on 2 tires. Bold strategy by a lot of these drivers, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them. Field told 2 by 2 is how they will line up. Under 20 to go here. I don't think this is the last caution flag of the evening at all. It's the 9th caution flag here. Lap 105 will be in the books when we go back racing, so 19 to go. I think Ryan Aldani might win this one. What do you say, race fans? Big jump that time for Chris Hammett. Here comes Wells down on the bottom side, trying to hook the bottom and get around Souza. Souza, though, fighting back down the back straightaway. Got a great launch off turn number 2. Zach Mitchell has to be mindful now because he's got 2 drivers in front of him on those 2 tires. Oh, the 64 overdrives turn 1. Here comes Mitchell. He'll get to the bottom side of that number 64 now. See if he can take the 3rd spot away. Wells gave it a run, tried it, not going to work out. One driver having a little bit of connection issues. The old Windstream connection there for Sean Butler. Butler will get around the number 64 of Jason Wells, and caution flag. Millen trying to open up a beer can. So the Let Freedom Ring, Pabst Blue Ribbon, America entry. Going to bring out the caution flag. The driver out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. Oh, Ben just got it way too hot and barely taps Millen. He went off track, but it really was the 45. Who gets in, gets sideways, gets... Oh, look at Higgins. I thought Higgins was going to be toast on that one. Somehow kept it off that 45. Had to go down and cut a little grass there. I didn't know Bob Higgins was selling lawnmower parts. One driver that will get the waiver round, that is the Feeney call, number 38 of Brandon Feeney. Feeney out of Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, racing at the Peterborough Speedway up there. The man that drives everything. I'm sure if somebody offered him to drive one of these 1987 cars in real life, he would do it. I'm telling you, he's a wheelman. I met him through an Ontario Legends, is where he started his racing career. And somehow continues to follow me around the iRacing.com platform. Should seed up. We're going to get 2 to go, so we're going to hold the field another lap here as they get the timing and scoring all sorted out. Millen getting ready to come back off pit road. Looks like Tim Combs has officially retired here tonight. Donald Bennett has retired. Tony Shreno, William Ridgway, Dalton Williamson. Sean Single sending in a message from his couch with his mixed match socks. Is get good. I don't know if he's telling me his socks are getting good or if the racing's about to get good. So it's lap 13. We'll go to 12. We're counting to 11 when we go back racing. Remember, if we do need it, race fans, we do have 3 green-white checker attempts here. I know we're working our 10th caution flag of the evening. I told you it wasn't going to be the last one, and I don't think this one's going to be the last one either. Also, keep in mind something that's going to play out here on this restart. Chris Hammett has 2 tires. Jeffrey Souza has 2 tires. Zach Mitchell, Sean Butler, 4 tires. So everybody's got to mind their P's and Q's here on this restart. Green flag is up. Everybody coming through the gearboxes. Looks like another good start here by the field. Souza with a really good start, but not able to hold the bottom side in 1 and 2. But man, look at the run he got. So he'll pull dead even into 3. The 4 is giving it all he's got, but man washes up that time. That'll let the 6 car clear officially. Caution lights. Caution lights involving the 03 of Thomas Ridgway. And I believe, yep, there he is. The number 15 of Peyton Johnson may have also gone around here tonight. Those drivers back there running 19th and 20th on the grid. Take a look. There's the 03 of Ridgway. Oh, they all get stacked up in front of him, and he gets a little help by Ben in the 45, and then Tom goes around, and there's Johnson. So that's what brings out that caution flag. It's number 11 here tonight at North Wilkesboro. We told you they were going to be a handful to drive one way or another, whether it was the track being hot in the sunlight or whether it was going to be the cars themselves with the way they handle, they brake, they turn. It's just old, it's just clunky. No power steering in these cars. Anybody that's old enough to have drove a car without power steering knows exactly what I mean by it's not easy to turn these things. Gets a little easier as, you know, the more momentum you have, the easier it turns. But, I mean, if you're slow and at a dead stop, boy, does it feel like you are cranking on a wheel forever to get the sucker to turn. Also, no ABS on these cars. Steel rotors. I was just told to take a look at the 40 entry of Higgins. There he is at the Higgins Hill Buick. Biggest mover so far here tonight. Up 17 spots, running in that 9th position. Some drivers that have rebounded here tonight. The 64 of Wells and Ryan O'Donnell also have rebounded very nicely. I think I'd take this one as a win if I was either one of those drivers. So we're getting the 1 to go marker, so we're giving them a 5-lap shootout here, see if they can end this one. It'll be Hammett and Mitchell. 2 tires to the inside, 4 tires on the outside, 2 tires for Souza, who will start to the inside of row number 2. Then it's Butler on 4. 5 laps. Throw the green flag and let's see. Mitchell going to get down as he got a good start there. So it'll be Hammett leading off of turn 2 with Zach Mitchell, Jeffrey Souza to the inside of Sean Butler. 4 laps remain. Good battle here. Oh boy. Souza going to drive the 88 up the track with 4 laps to go. And we're wrecking. That'll send us to overtime. Brandon Feeney and the Feeney Call Liquid Molly. Entry will be the driver that got turned around. I believe him and Peyton Johnson may have gotten into a little bit of a conflict of position there. There's Feeney. What goes wrong for Feeney? Does he lock him? Oh. Locked it up, got into Bob, and oh, Peyton just comes to a nice, easy stop. That was a very nice stop. Wonder if he got his brakes at the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Right on board with Johnson. Peyton saw it all coming. Maybe Feeney was asking Bob if he had any parts that he could use on his modified. That's probably what it was. So we talked about overtime, race fans. This is how this will work, because this would be the white flag lap, but as you can see, we still have 3 laps to go. So that means it's going to be a green-white checker attempt number 1. So we're going to take the green. We're going to come back around. We're going to take the white. If we get the white, the race is over. First one back to the line, that's how they will end it. If we don't get to the white flag, well, then we got another 2 to go. Another 2 attempts to go, I should say. So it's green, white, checkered is how we have to finish this one off. Nobody coming to pit road. I didn't think anybody would come to pit road. There's just not enough time here tonight, and there's too many cars left on the lead lap. 18 of them, to be exact, left on the lead lap. Let's drop down that timing and scoring tower. Find where your favorite driver is running. Do they have a chance here tonight? Well, are they still out there on the raceway? That's all that you need to know. Yes, they do, then have a chance. Thomas Ridgway looks like he has called it a night here. Tim Combs, Donald Bennett, Tony Strano, William Ridgway, and Dalton Williamson, all out of tonight's race. As you see, the lights are off. They're doubled back up. What does that mean? We're ready to go. Still 2 tires to the inside of the front row, 4 tires to the outside, 2 tires to the inside of row number 2, 4 tires to the outside. Can Chris Hammett hold on here tonight? Remember, you win and you lock yourself into the playoffs. A great start there by the 6. Good start by that number 4 of Souza also. Not going to allow the 8 of Zach Mitchell to get down to the bottom side. Now he will. The drive off the corner just that much better. Zach Mitchell right to the back bumper there of Chris Hammett. Coming to see if we can get the white flag here tonight. White flag, final lap around the speedway. It is Chris Hammett trying to hold off the 4 tires there of Zach Mitchell. He will have another shot at it down here in 3 and 4. Big bobble that time by the 88. Final time into 3. Chris Hammett looks like he is looking to lock this one up. He will. It'll be Chris Hammett, Zach Mitchell across the line. Jeffrey Souza to hold on for 3rd. Sean Butler, one of them spinning, 2 of them spinning, 3. Gonna crash him up after the start-finish line. But Chris Hammett will pick up the win, so it's Hammett, Mitchell, Souza, Butler across the line here tonight. Unofficial results here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Butler finishes 4th, Wells in 5th. O'Donnell finishes 6th here tonight. Cole Day, Joe Strano, Max Terrell, James Skelton rally back for a top 10 finish. There he is. He'll burn it down tonight. The number 6, Chris Hammett, going to victory lane here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. So as he burns it down, that means we're getting ready to head to our post-race show here tonight. Post-race show brought to us by Brandon Feeney over at the Feeney Call. Make sure to head on over to Facebook.com, type in the Feeney Call, and keep up to date with all the racing action in the Canadian racing scene. We'll be right back here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway right after this.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back here, race fans, to the North Wilkesboro Speedway here tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing. Race number 3 here of the season, officially in the books after a little overtime needed to figure this one out. We have the top 3 standing by to hear what they thought here of the North Wilkesboro Speedway. So let's head down trackside here tonight and talk to the top 3. Let's start things off with a third place finisher. Souza, a great race for you, as this car looked like it was good on the 2 tires and it just was kind of steady all night. And you really didn't ruffle any feathers out there.
Yeah, we had a good race there. Started with qualifying. We had a bad qualifying last week. Couldn't really make up any ground, and how difficult it was here to pass. Starting up there in the top 10 really made the difference. And yeah, like you said, we rolled the dice there a little bit. I messed up on one of those restarts, and we held on the best we could and ended up with the podium.
You held on. How hard was it to make the passes out there? Where did the 4 car really feel comfortable? We've seen cars pass on the outside early, and then late it seemed like it was just right around the bottom.
Yeah, it was extremely tough to pass, and I think if these cars were a little bit more stable, you might have saw an attempt at a bump and run there, but I think it was just way too unsafe, basically, with how the setup was. And yeah, like you said, if you saved your tires for a long run and those guys in front of you started sliding, you were able to make some decent passes on the bottom. Try not to rough people up, but you know, these things were pretty much boats as they are, you know, being as old as they are.
That's for sure. I hope your little foam padding that you had here tonight didn't hurt your butt, because next week it's gonna, because we're headed to the Watkins Glen International Speedway. How do you feel about headed up there for 30 laps of racing action with that next generation cup car?
Yeah, that next gen, man, I like it at some places and I dislike it at others. I ran the Roval a couple weeks ago and that was atrocious. Watkins Glen is a track that I know. Obviously, we have all run on it once or twice. And with the next gen, that's actually a little bit of a fun road course to run. So with my expertise coming with the next gen car, I'm hoping that we should be able to go out there and have another solid top 10 run as well.
Well, before we let you go, what do you say? Who's on the side of this beautiful throwback-looking X-Side machine?
Yeah, obviously, Stanton Analyzer for being on the hood most of these weeks that we run, and then Souza Media for everything they do with sessions and help paying the bills on the car. We'll be in charge of it for this next week and a half or so. So we'll be running the show over there at Souza Media, and then everyone over at Triad as well for helping get me a better driver. Brandon Pierce on the box as always. Continuing to get solid runs and gather those points for the playoffs.
There you hear it. He finishes third tonight. Jeffrey Souza will come away with a good top 3 finish. The driver, though, that will finish second, man, Zach, it's got to feel like a little bit of a letdown. You lead the most laps here with that Pontiac, but that Ford just in the way at the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it a bad night either. I didn't expect to run first most of the race. That the qualifying lap kind of came out of nowhere. I expected to run 5th to 10th or be junked, so I will absolutely take it.
You talk about junk, there's a lot of junk cars here tonight that are going to, well, I don't know if they're going to fit back in the haulers. They may have to call a flatbed to get them back home. How did you keep this car so clean? Because it doesn't even look like the right side is tore off it.
I kept it up front, which is always good. Like I said, that qualifying run came out of nowhere, so I was able to have the track position needed, but just not overdriving it either. I was wrecking a lot in practice because I was overdriving, so I backed everything up a little bit, try to save some tires for longer runs, and seemed to help me.
So what you're saying is if you wreck them in practice, you find the edge, you may be able to keep it clean?
Yes, maybe.
It's never worked for me.
Get good.
Well, that's what Sean Single was telling you to do out there tonight. But a great run for you. Overall, this is going to look really good in the points. You haven't been able to pick up a win yet this season, but this team has showed a lot of speed here early on in the first 3 weeks of the season. Do you think the win could come maybe next week? I believe you're the last road course winner of the series.
Yeah, I always look forward to the one road course we get a year. I always put more time in than anybody else because I know it's my my cup of tea. So we're looking forward to that. I've actually just loaded up Watkins Glen right now for next week. So I'm looking forward to it. The next gen car drives amazing on the road courses, so you can really drive them. Makes it a lot of fun.
So you won the last road course race with the series, but did it actually happen? Because nobody saw it.
Yeah, because some broadcaster named Roger slept through his alarm, and I sponsored that race too.
Oh, so are you saying I get to take a nap next week?
I mean, maybe if I win by as much as I did last time. Not to sound braggy, but
well, hey, we can't wait to maybe watch it next week when you're practicing already. So we'll let you get back to practice. Who do you got to thank? And don't say Sean Single because he's wearing 2 different socks tonight.
I can thank Sean Single. We had a great paint scheme for him tonight too. From Ryan made a nice paint scheme for him, but he's back. He's 75 years old, so. But thanks to the guys at Red Light Racing for putting on the league for us. It's a lot of fun to get out here once a week and run with them. The guys at 4X Racing got a nice 1-2 tonight with me and Chris. Rich DPC for putting the computer together. He's currently working on another one for me that should be here in about a month or so. So maybe I'll get a couple more tents when that gets here.
Well, maybe you should tell him that I need an all-white one here for the studio, too.
Mine is going to be all white, I believe.
Man, look at that. He's always looking fresh dressed when he comes out here on a Monday night. Zach Mitchell race fans will finish here P number 2. And he's talking about Sean Single's 70-some-year-old back. I don't know, kind of weird. But hey, he finishes into the second position with that Pontiac. They built excitement. He had excitement here tonight. And unfortunately got out-dueled, though, by the team car. How about it? That Ford was pretty fast here at the end. The strategy playing out for you tonight, Chris.
Yeah, definitely. Most of the race just trying to manage everything in case we got that long run that never seemed to come. So really just trying to manage stuff and keep it up front and keep it out of the nonsense back there. Didn't try 2 tires at all in practice. I figured we were either going to win the race or wreck the whole field. So really glad it turned out the way it did. Huge win. We felt like I had Daytona taken away from me from iRacing there, and then caught a bad caution last week that knocked us down a couple spots. So feels good to get a win, get locked into these playoffs. It's a really, really, really tough field this year. A lot of great drivers. So it feels really good to get locked in here this early, and we'll keep it rolling.
You talk about locking yourself in. What does that really mean? Because looking at the schedule ahead, there are some tracks that we haven't run in quite a while here with the series. So does locking in early here, well, this is a very tough track too. Does that kind of take the pressure off the rest of the way?
Oh, 100%. Said it's not an easy schedule this year. Josh did a number on us this year, and it seems like all the rookie drivers we have this year are all extremely capable and all very fast. So we just keep adding more and more talent into the series, and it just keeps making it harder and harder to get into these playoffs. So getting in on points is going to be a tough one. So to pick a win, punch that ticket. I haven't missed the playoffs yet, and I really don't plan on it.
Well, you know who's going to miss the playoffs this year?
I believe that would be Grandpa back Sean Single.
Ah, yes. You're really good at reading my mind because you can't actually see me. So that was actually very good there. So, hey, a great job for you here tonight. Who do you got to thank? Let's roll the red carpet out here for you tonight because I'm sure you're going to go practice a couple laps there with Mr. Mitchell.
Oh, well, first I have to thank my awesome newly fiance for letting me come back here and do this every week. So now I got to get back to planning a wedding. So help me with that if you could. I got to thank everybody at 4X Racing. Zach, super fast tonight, raced me clean there at the end. I definitely owe him one. Shout out to Ryan O'Donnell bringing the modified back there for a P6. And we rag on Sean, but we definitely can't wait to get him back out here. He's a big help to us, so we need to get Grandpa back out here. Got to thank of Josh, Richard, and James at Red Light Racing to do a fantastic job of running this series. Shout out to you, Roger, for broadcasting it. I like to watch them back, but only when I run good, so I'll have something to watch tomorrow. The one-time Burger Bar on board again. Can't let people forget that one time still out here.
And there's one time behind the driver wheel here tonight. Chris Hammett will pick up the big win here, and he will lock himself officially into the playoffs. He will join Tony Strano and Max Terrell as the drivers who have picked up wins. So that's 3 drivers, 3 races. Who will win next? That's the question. Who will be the driver to next win? That's why we go to Watkins Glen. It's going to be a track that has been like none other. There's right turns in it. There's right turns. We're going to drive a car that has a 5-speed gearbox, an independent rear suspension. It's going to be crazy. Way different from the old school car we drove here tonight. The new school, the today car, the next generation, if you will. Next week from Watkins Glen. So a great race for Chris Hammett, Zach Mitchell, Jeffrey Souza. Sean Butler will finish 4th. 5th will go to Jason Wells. Ryan O'Donnell battles back for 6th. Cole Day hangs on for a 7th. Joe Strano picking up the most spots here tonight. He'll finish in 8th. 9th will go to Max Darrell, and 10th to James Skelton. All race results here tonight, unofficial here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway, but man, battle of nutrition for these drivers here tonight. Next week, though, we'll see who can survive making up the twisties and turns at Watkins Glen. So for everybody at Red Light Racing, everybody with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, and all of us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, my name is Roger Muth, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's virtual show here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And until we see you next time, race fans, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you in Turn 3.